My name is Dawn, standing in my new downtown office, overlooking the magnificent Chicago skyline with the lake framed by floor-to-ceiling windows. I'm reminded of how far I've come. On the credenza behind my desk, family photos sit side by side with business awards, a symbol of the unity I've achieved between my personal and professional lives. A month ago, I hosted my parents' 36th anniversary party at a renovated 1920 theater. As I watched my professional team execute the event flawlessly, I overheard a waiter whispering to his colleague, "That's Dawn. She produces the city's top events." The comment no longer triggered my old insecurities. Instead, I simply smiled. It all started at the Ivy, Chicago's premier fine dining establishment. I led my family into the restaurant, and the general manager, Mr. Thompson, greeted me warmly. "Miss Dawn, welcome back. Your private room is ready." My father, Henry, a retired schoolteacher with a kind heart but a penchant for frugality, stopped in his tracks. "They know you here?" he asked, his eyes full of confusion. My mother, Lily, a former librarian, nervously adjusted her brooch, a gift from my father on their 30th anniversary. My older sister, Victoria, a high-powered corporate lawyer in her late 30s, whispered to my brother-in-law, Ryan, "Must be a mistake." My younger brother, Ethan, a recent finance graduate in his early 20s, was mentally calculating the cost of the place, muttering, "This place must be burning through cash." When we reached the private room with a plaque that read the last name family, I said, "Happy birthday, Dad." Inside, everything was perfectly arranged. But as soon as we sat down, the familiar nagging started. "Dawn, this is very sweet, but it's so expensive. You should be saving," Mom said. Victoria jumped in. "I could have found a cheaper place through my connections." I'd been hiding my success from them for years. I lived in a small apartment near my company's storage facility, not because I couldn't afford better, but because I was afraid of how they'd react to my achievements. I remembered how, in college, my roommate, Sarah, started treating me differently after I landed a big event contract. She went from being my best friend to constantly asking for favors and investments. During the dinner, the tension was palpable. When the wine list came, Victoria reached for it, saying, "Let me handle this. You probably don't know much about good wine." I calmly took the list and ordered a premium bottle. "It's Dad's birthday. We should have the best," I said. Later, I excused myself to talk to the chef about my father's nut allergy. As I passed by the archway, I heard Victoria say, "She's probably in debt with all this. She lives in that tiny place. Maybe she's dating the manager." Ryan laughed in agreement and Ethan joined in. But my father's voice cut through. "She's always been thoughtful. Let her do this." I walked back into the room with a smile, pretending not to hear. But I knew it was time for them to see the real me. When the bill arrived, Victoria lunged for it, saying, "I'll put it on my card. We'll split it." I took out my Black American Express Centurion card. Silence fell over the table. Victoria scoffed. "Is that a fake?" I calmly replied, "It's real." When the card needed additional verification, Victoria gloated. But soon, the transaction was approved. Mr. Thompson then approached and said, "Miss Dawn, I just realized you're the one behind company name. Your team's work on the city's annual charity ball was outstanding." My family's expressions turned from disbelief to shock. Victoria's perfectly maintained composure cracked, and a tear slipped down her cheek. "I thought I was helping you," she whispered. Ethan, who had always boasted about his financial knowledge, asked about my company's profit margins. I started to explain how I'd built my event planning company from scratch. In the beginning, I struggled. I lived on instant noodles and worked 18-hour days. I was afraid to tell them because I didn't want to disappoint them if the business failed. As I spoke, I saw the understanding in their eyes. My father reached across the table and squeezed my hand. "I'm so proud of you," he said. For the first time in years, I felt truly seen by my family. Now, as I look out at the Chicago skyline, I know that the journey has been worth it. I've learned that my worth isn't determined by others' perceptions, and true family connection is built on authenticity.